A shocking new interview just exposed how deeply fractured Trump's administration has become, and it all started with one of his top allies, JD Vance, accidentally throwing another cabinet member under the bus. What was supposed to be a friendly conversation turned into a public disaster, reminding Americans just how chaotic and hypocritical this White House truly is. Hey everyone, welcome back. Donald Trump's administration is collapsing under the weight of its own corruption and incompetence. While the government shutdown continues to crush working families, the chaos inside Trump's cabinet is spilling into the open. And this time, it's so bad that even Trump's own vice president couldn't keep the lies straight. But before we get to Vance's stunning self-sabotage, let's look at the human cost of this administration's failure to lead.
Wolf, a lot of people are getting sticker shock like they can't believe as we approach Halloween here. Talk about a frightening situation. The enrollment begins on November 1st. This is precisely what some lawmakers have been warning about throughout this shutdown. They're saying, look, this enrollment time is coming up, and unless this health care situation is fixed, a lot of people are going to get really hammered. And indeed, that's what it looks like is happening as we approach this enrollment time. 26% increase on average, you mentioned there. That's in the premiums for this, which affects tens of millions of people out there. But this is what's really important. When you mention the monthly payment expected to more than double at the end of subsidies, that's the enhanced subsidies that help people pay some of those premiums. So let's look at a real example here. For some people out there who might have been paying $888 for their care this year, next year, $1,904. You can imagine for a lot of people who don't have a lot of money, that is a real backbreaker. That's kind of a backbreaker for a lot of people who are doing fairly well. So that's the big worry here, that they're going to have this gigantic jump in the fee. That's just one example. But if you look at the median out there for this, and then if you look at the different categories, there are some people who will lose their insurance altogether because they simply won't be able to pay it.
While Americans are facing devastating premium hikes, Trump's officials are too busy pointing fingers and pretending they're victims. But even members of his own party are calling out the dysfunction for what it is, a total moral collapse at the top.
I believe the military is greatly important and should be paid just right along with SNAP benefits, our air traffic controllers, and everybody else. You can find money to give it to Argentina, then you want to turn around and buy beef from them and slap our farmers in the face. You know, he's real good at being overseas and running away from his responsibilities. But I think it's time for him. He keeps bragging about how good he is making deals over there. He ought to get back here and start taking care of our country and sit down and be serious about it instead of calling everybody funny names and blaming somebody and saying it's just one side or the other. Because as far as I know, the Democrats are in their offices in the House, but where's the Republicans? They're still on a month-long vacation and getting paid.
If I were the Democratic Party, I'd be talking about how Trump is raging on his Truth Social all about the 2020 election still. I would be pointing out it is 2025. You are the current sitting president. All of your legal challenges failed over and over and over again. You've never proven that there was any significant fraud in the 2020 election. Grow up. It is time to govern, reopen the government, do your job. There are Americans out there who are struggling right now, who are waiting in food lines because they can't pay their bills and put food on the table for their families. And so I would reframe it all in that context right now, that he is not doing his job. He is a narcissist who is living in the past, who can't get over the fact that Joe Biden beat him fair and square.
And that's a communication professional there for you.
And now, as if economic pain and internal chaos weren't enough, Vice President JD Vance just made things exponentially worse by condemning one of his own colleagues on live camera.
But really for those 6 months, I mean, I kind of obsessively trained him. Like you could see this, like he sits on command, he stays on command. He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him.
No.
Hassan.
Not like Hassan Piker. No.
Wasn't that disgusting?
No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not, that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well. Yeah. And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So it's one of the ways, we really sort of test people is if Atlas responds well to them, if they like Atlas, we know they're good people. But you can tell if somebody's really mean to animals, it's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Yeah. Like every serial killer ever has actually been really bad to animals. That's sort of how they started.
Vance's comments were meant to humanize him, but they instantly backfired. Why? Because his own administration includes Kristi Noem, Trump's Homeland Security Secretary, who literally admitted in her 2024 memoir to shooting her own puppy. She used a shock collar on the dog, led it to a gravel pit, and killed it. So when Vance said, if you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% a sign you're a terrible person, he didn't just insult animal abusers, he condemned a member of his own cabinet. Within hours, social media exploded. Even conservative pundits called out the hypocrisy. The interview that was supposed to make Vance look compassionate ended up reminding everyone that Trump's cabinet is filled with scandal and moral rot, from killing puppies to shutting down the government. The Trump-Vance administration is collapsing under its own contradictions. While ordinary Americans are drowning in higher costs and economic chaos, the people in power can't even keep their stories straight or show a shred of empathy. If you believe America deserves leaders who protect people instead of humiliating them, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and drop a comment below. Let's keep holding these so-called patriots accountable, because facts, compassion, and truth still matter.